The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
Welcome back. Welcome to the front yard. So we are going to fire her up. This is the I'm going to put in gas, all that stuff. This is actually the first fire up I have done on this boat. Have not put gas in it, nothing. Special shout out to my buddy JJ Horvath. He helped me with some tuning tips on the pipe. I got my pipe set to a better length than I had it before, obviously. And I hadn't set it before, but he pointed out a couple things that I actually forgot about measuring length. So anyhow, I put flotation in it. I also put it in the kiddie pool for an hour, and she didn't get one drop through the hull, so that's a good thing. So to fill this thing up, first thing we're going to do is, this is normally screwed down into here. Obviously, that's our filler. So we got I do my boat gas, 8 ounces per gallon. 2-cycle oil. We've got our little gas bag. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off supply to the carb, because I have been known to flood these things if you don't, because you're feeding into the same line. So it's going to go to the path of least resistance. So that's just how I do it. We're going to go ahead and pull this one off, make sure that clamp is good. We're going to hook up our gas pump to here. All right, and then my handy dandy little, I use a good old school Dubrow. The reason I like this one is you can use it for gas or nitro, which is good. Usually it's good practice also to have a fuel filter in between in the lines there. So we're going to go ahead and fill this guy up. And I suppose this is, if you had to have a drawback, this is the drawback to a bag filter, or a bag system, because you can't just squeeze it in. But most of the time with boats, you're not doing it anyway. We got a leak here or what? I might have a kink in here because I stuck my flotation. Let me double check that real quick. We're back. I did have this hose kinked because I was pushing all my flotation into this hull, which is a pain in the ass in this boat because there's no room to get anything in. But anyway, everything's fine now, so we're going to go ahead and pump up our fuel. It does take a minute. You can get an electric pump for this, but I mean, the runtime on these things is so long, I don't really care. It's nice when you have to refuel, let your engine sit, take a break. And once this is reasonably full, we're going to also check our center of gravity. I'm going to show you another thing you have to do with bags. FedEx man. He's a cool guy. All right. We got a long way to go on this, but I'm just going to end up pumping it back out anyway. But I want to check my center of gravity with a full tank of gas. The other thing that you have to do when you use a fuel cell, and this was, it's reasonably full. You can see in there that there's an air bubble. You have to burp these. Now what that means is, I've got this one angled up, so it's not quite as critical on this particular boat because you're feeding from the bottom. But like my other 3-4 gas boats, they're laying flat. So if you get that air bubble in there, boom, your engine's going to die. So what you want to do is put it nose down so that air bubble comes up here, and then just back your pump off, suck that air out. Once you suck the air out, go ahead and clamp it back off, and then unclamp your carb, and everybody's copacetic and good to go. We're not even going to bother with that right now because I'm not going to go run this. I'm going to pump this gas right back out. The other thing to remember that I learned the hard way, because when I saw the bag option, of course, I just jumped into it. Do not leave it that full. It will heat up and expand. When you're done with your boat, pull your gas out, almost all of it. Leave a little bit, teeny bit in there. It keeps the bag from drying out, but other than that, pull your gas out or run it out, one of the two. So we're going to disconnect that. We're going to check our center of gravity. We're going to put our lid back on. Full weight. 3 inches back-ish is about here. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, I like that. Now, one of the things that I did do, as we know, and I had one dude make a couple guys make comments about it, but I moved my engine way the fuck back. It's supposed to be right here. I did that for multiple reasons. I can do a belt start on here, but I prefer pull starts. pull start adds extra weight, extra drag on the engine. They say for racing you would probably not do a pull start. I don't race, I'm just a basher. So I wanted the pull start on there, and if you put the engine where they tell you to put it, the pull start's clear the hell back here. This wall's in the way. There's just all sorts of reasons. So my center of gravity is perfect. With a full tank of gas, I'm actually about 2 inches off riding surface of the sponsons. 2 to 3 inches, just depends, but now you can manipulate it. I did throw just a temp battery in there because my NiCad nickel metal hydride that's up here is not charged at the moment, so this is just for testing purposes, obviously. So next thing we're going to do, oh, anyway, one of the things I was telling you about, since I moved this so far forward, the spark plug was too high, and it would have put a hole in my, would have had to put a hole in the cowl, and I didn't want to do that, so I made my own spark plug. Check it out, and it makes spark. So that's one of the other things that we're going to test. We're going to see if that holds up. In a water-cooled machine, it should be fine. If you're going to run, I would not recommend doing this in a car, a gas 5th scale car or anything like that, because it's going to get too hot and probably not, the weld joint inside that I made probably wouldn't hold up to the heat of the head. But in this case, in a boat, your head should be, you should be able to touch it. So I don't see that as being an issue. Let's see, that is about it. Now we're getting ready to start this pig up. The first thing we're going to do now is we're going to test, there's Danny, what's up, brother? We're going to test our water cooling, make sure we don't have any leaks, okay? So I'm only going to test right now. I'll probably do it off camera. I'll do the block. I'm not real concerned with that because we're just going to do a pull start dry run. And let's see, make sure we got no leaks. Beautiful. I'm going to go full pressure, which you shouldn't really do. Oop, blew off the back. That's okay, good enough. It's never going to be that high a pressure running. So we're just going to get some water going through. Beautiful, beautiful. No leaks in the head. Everybody's happy. Now we're going to turn on our radio. A very dirty radio. It needs a bath. That is on Hawk. Kyosho Turbo. Let's see if I can remember where the hell I put this. Gas rigger. I got a lot of boats. Toucan and Vader. Okay, let's turn her on, make sure everything works. Now, and it's not. That's not good. Why is it not? I think that battery might be cooked. Kind of puffy. Be right back. So yes, it was that battery was shot, so I just popped in a good old school RC car pack here. So throttle's working good. Well, sorry. Rudder, which we don't care about. I do still have to balance my prop yet, set my strut height, and I also have to change out this steering arm because I know no way in hell that thing's going to work. But that's okay. I mean, it'll work on a straightaway, but I wouldn't turn too much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to unclamp our fuel supply. All right. And then we're going to choke it out. So I'm going to put my thumb over it. I'm going to pull it 3 or 4 times, and we're just going to totally stock settings. I have not touched the adjustments. This is a 1054, I believe that's right, 1054 Walboro carb on a Zenoa 30cc motor. So let's prime it out. Okay. All right, so prime it with your thumb, stick it over the orifice there of your carb, pull it 3 or 4 times, and fire it up. So I did raise my trim a little bit. We're just gonna let this thing sit and idle for a while. Want to make sure my spark plug works and all that good stuff. See what happens here. Tighten that up. Holy moly. Yeah, that's loose. All right, very, very rich, which is okay. That's what we want right now. Ooh, might have to get a better, my good stand out here. This thing sucks. All right, now let me go get a more stable stand. I don't trust this thing very so much better. So let's give it a shot now. She's very, very rich, very flooded. So let's okay. very rich. All right, we're gonna bring our idle in just a touch. See if I'm lucky here. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more oomph. Good, I like it. Very, very rich, obviously. We need to lean out that low speed needle just a little bit, and it's clamped down right now, so we'll... And then she'll fire right up. So that is basically about it, kids. Really nothing more to report. I need to balance my prop, affix that on. It's not even tight yet. Need to change my steering rod a lot because it's not even close to where it needs to be. Oh, these batteries are fried too. That sucks. No wonder it's not doing anything. But anyway, so that's basically what we need to do with that. I got 2 more decals coming for the side of my cowl, and I think that's it. I think she's good. She floats, she doesn't leak. The engine runs, which is always a plus. Yeah, so we're good. We'll tune up the pipe. I need to move my clamp up a little bit, and we'll get everything rocking and rolling. So hopefully the maiden will be soon as I figure out my steering linkage there. So till next time, kids, keep shiny side up. Bye.